Okay, just a thought. I was reading some scriptures this morning, and I think I actually found the playbook or the script for 2020, at least right now in 2020. It was so interesting to me how it applies and how it actually gives us the formula, or at least an awareness of the patterns and what we might do as important players in our current 2020 situation. We're all here for a particular purpose. We each have gifts and talents to share. We're powerful, and we can make a change and a difference when we apply ourselves to doing that. So it starts out with three brothers, and they're all fighting to be king, if you will. They actually called them, they wanted to be leaders of their country. They're all fighting to be leaders. And people begin to gravitate toward their favorite. So these guys went there, these guys here, and these guys here. And it creates contention, right, in the land. People are divided by what they believe and who they believe in. So these three brothers, instead of recognizing the contention and the problems that it's causing, they continue to divide. Eventually, the majority of the people choose this guy. Now, this guy, when everybody chooses him, or the majority choose him, says, okay, I accept that. Let's work together. So he brings his group to work. This guy over here, he says, no, I have been robbed. I should be the leader. And continues his divisive tactics. It's really interesting. So I think, well, how does that apply for us? Well, if we look governmentally, we have a lot of division going on governmentally, okay? But let's even go smaller. Let's say communities. Is there division in your community? I'd say we got some division going on. Let's even go smaller. How about your Facebook group? Have you got some division going on in your Facebook group? I would say unlikely you don't. How about in your home, in your family? Do you agree 100% on everything? Probably not. Have you ever got in the middle of a fight between two siblings and suddenly they're banded together and you're under attack and you thought you came to help? There's the thing, is that contention divides us. It separates us. It brings to mind all the ways we don't fit together. Now we can choose to be like this guy and say, nope, I'm not listening to what any of you are saying. I'm right. I have the power. Or we can be like these two who make a choice to work together. All the players in their script bring their similarities, their gifts, their talents that support and weave one another. Okay? So, here we are. I'm going to talk Facebook because that's a powerful medium of sharing your opinion. And what I'll say is that I'll be honest and say that in the past, not recently, but in the past, I have unfollowed people who talk about things or debate things that aren't my favorite topic, that don't fill me with truth and light, that make me feel contention, frustration, even grief. And so I had the thought, because some people have said, well, people are unfriending me or unfollowing me. And I think, yeah, that's a hard thing. And then I realized that sometimes we do that so that we don't lose the friendship, that we don't lose that overall contention or connection, but that we don't let those negative feelings begin to grow. Because the more we play those notes of negativity, the more we build a song that's in disharmony with our relationships. So sometimes I think we do need to unfollow. We don't have to unfriend, but we can unfollow so that we're not seeing those things that create that feeling in us. A second thought is that sometimes we need to hear those thoughts and at least say, oh, there's a different perspective. These two, oh, different perspectives, but I could see how we can work together. What's most important about this whole picture is the problem that comes when we are divided by contention. Harm comes straight up the center and destroys us. And we're so busy being contentious that we don't even see it coming. And suddenly, in our midst is harm. In this scripture story, it brings death and destruction. We can talk about death right now. We can talk about destruction. We can talk about the death of friendships and relationships. We can talk about the death of connection. We can talk about the destruction of cohesiveness and power in togetherness. Because you know what saves this group of people is over on the outskirts are the people who find commonality, who bond together because of similar things, not because they share the same faith, they share the same color, they share the same financial abundance. It's because they share a commonality of purpose to preserve their families, their homes, and their liberty. We can do that. We each have a role to do that. To come with our armor of truth, our armor of we stand together, not because we're the same, but because we honor the differences in one another. The power comes in commonality of purpose, not in commonality of people. We don't want the destroyer to come up the center and gut us. We just don't. But in order to stop it, we've got to find the way to create a commonality to help us to see the things that are the same. We love our families. We love our community, our province, our state, our countries. I believe everyone is fighting for what they think is best. There's the key. Is there a commonality of purpose? Let's look for it. Even in our homes, is there a commonality of purpose? Look for it. In our communities, what's the commonality of purpose? Look for it. In our states and provinces, commonality of purpose. Look for it. Play your role of peacemaker, of leader, of supporter. Sometimes we're here to support, not to be in charge per se, because nobody won alone. Nobody overcame the destroying alone. Let's build an army of commonality of purpose. Let's gather role players that strengthen us, that support us, that love us, because we're different. Let's stop the destruction and the destroying. Let's put peace in our purpose. There's hope when together we find the key and nothing can divide us. Just my thoughts.